back for another week of Past the Post, the only place to be early evening on a Monday to get the ultimate dose of racing in the UAE and the rest of the world. With 4 meetings across the Emirates at the weekend, as well as some top-class overseas action, you're in for a treat over the next hour. So let's get started with Thursday, when Laura King was at Meydan to cast her eye over the carnival.
The final Thursday of the carnival from here at Meydan, but we've got a really strong meeting. We've got 5 pattern races on the card, including later on the Nad Al Sheba Trophy and the UAE Oaks. But now the Arabians get their final chance to really secure a berth into the Kahila Classic, certainly here at Meydan. A really good lineup for this round 3 between Barnamaj and Paddy's Day. And we've got a new shooter in there as well, in Ziad, who lines up for Jean de Rual. But I think this fellow, Paddy's Day, making another quick reappearance, but surely he's the one they've got to catch. Paddy's Day might have been feeling the effects of several quick runs, and he produced a below-par effort, never travelling with his usual gusto. By contrast, Richie Mellon on board Meydan newcomer Ziad always seemed to have plenty of horse, and kept the 6-year-old on the heels of the leaders throughout. He may have been briefly headed by Barnamaj in the closing stages, but was good value for a 2 3/4 length win over that rival, with Paddy's Day third.
Paddy's Day is getting into it late. It's Ziad and Barnamaj. Paddy's Day is rallying between them. Ziad over on the inside shows the way. Barnamaj is trying to get there from Paddy's Day and Elsa Janjul, but Ziad is racing away, and too good for them here. Getting onto the dirt, and Ziad's going to cause an upset in the first. Ziad races out by 3 on Barnamaj and Paddy's Day.
It was the first win at Meydan at just his second attempt for trainer Jean de Rual, who now has a live Kahila Classic chance in what looks an open year.
Yes, confident, but how can you say you're going to win? You just know your horses well. First time on dirt, tough horses. The second is a good horse. We don't forget that. So, but you told me I was going to win, huh? So if you can come next time, I would appreciate,
Next time being the Kahila Classic, I will be here, and obviously that's the plan now?
Yes, of course, yes. We're going to check everything, give him a 10 days rest, and bring him back slowly. 30 days is perfect, to go to a big race like this, So keep fingers crossed. I know now he fits the dirt, so this is a very good sign. And Richie rode a perfect race, so luck was with us with us tonight, and I'm happy for His Highness as well, because we must never forget that. Without him, I would not be here talking to you. So thanks to him, and I'm very happy for him. He won this race, yes.
And you're pretty good at this training, Lark, aren't you? That's 2 years you've been here in the UAE in 2 Group 1s.
Yeah, my second Group 1. I won the Cup with Laura, and I'm happy, and I want to keep on going. And I have great expectation. I think good horses are coming more and more now, so I can match the big guys here. I'm just a small guy now. I will match them. I will make it. I think so.
Race 2, the listed Meydan Classic, is rarely won by the horse who wins the Meydan Classic trial, and that was again the case this year, when Wasim was ruled out of the race a few hours before. The horse he beat on that occasion, Zaman, was the hot favourite here and got the job done, although William Buick had to sit and suffer, waiting for a gap to appear. When it did, Zaman shot through, powering clear for an ease-down length-and-a-half success over the fast-finishing Wakad. Freescape ran on late for a good third for David Marnane.
Zaman got into the clear. Buick gave it a bit of rain and kicked away in the Meydan Classic. Zaman opened up, got away by 3 lengths. Wakat is charging down the outside after it, but Zaman's got the break, and Zaman's going to come on for a pretty good win. Eye-catching run. Wakat getting up for second, followed by Freescape, who ran on from the back.
William Buick is having a superb carnival. This his 10th win, and he gave us his thoughts on Zaman's future afterwards. At a moment's doubt sort of turning in, is it horses just a little bit sort of slow to get going?
Yeah, I suppose he warms into his races a little bit, It was a hot pace on, we went pretty fast there. And, we had kind of had the pole position, if you like, but it was also going to suit the closer. So, this is as far as he's ever gone. But I thought it was a kind of a workman-like performance, but, he could. I didn't think he could do a lot more, really, and he's confirmed his good run in the Classic Trial. And he's backed it up here. I know we had the winner of the Classic Trial missing here today, but I think over the trip, this horse was always going to be hard to beat.
And how good do you think he is? Sort of, he's going to get back to the UK now. What sort of level would you picture him in out there, do you think?
Well, I hope he's a group horse. It's hard to say really, but he could be a horse that could progress. He's got pretty stiff rating, so I suppose the handicaps are the question for him. But look, I think Charlie and the team will decide where he goes next. It's just nice to get this step out of the way first, really.
Staying with the 3-year-olds, the Group 3 UAE Oaks was up next, and it featured round 3 between Raya and Winter Lightning. The latter poised to make it 3-0 and win Saeed bin Saror and 11th Oaks. Raya wasn't having any of that though, and proved her lacklustre Guineas effort was all wrong, with a tough front-running display under Pat Dobbs. Being drawn on the rail undoubtedly helped, but Doug Watson's filly never really looked like being caught, and won by 3 3/4 lengths from Expressi, with Winter Lightning, who was stuck wide throughout, third.
Raya went for home in the Oaks. It's Raya out by 3-4 lengths on Expressi. Winter Lightning is full bore down the outside trying to get to Raya. Raya might have pinched it inside the final 180. Raya is well clear over Expressi. Winter Lightning can't go on with it, and Raya is going to come away for a very good win. Beautiful ride. Raya wins by 4 lengths. Second in Expressi. Third's going to be tight. Maybe Winter Lightning just ahead of Sada.
It was the second Oaks win for Doug, following on from Polar River in 2016. And he issued the cheerful bulletin that we'll be seeing Raya again at the end of the month.
I didn't know if we could turn the tables on Winter Lightning, but I knew that she didn't go into the last race. She was just worked up at the gate, worked up in the paddock, and I loved seeing her walk around. She just walked around with her head down and nice and relaxed tonight. I thought, okay, that gives us a little bit of a shot, and I just appreciate Sheikh Rashid allowing us to go out and buy her this summer and this past summer, and she's turned out to be very nice.
Yeah, she has. And you never lost faith in her, and you were always adamant that she'd see out this trip.
Yeah, I mean, like, pedigree says that, and I know she has a pretty nice cruising speed, and he was able to get out there, and he looked like he was going comfortable. The other ones were just looking like they were having to ask theirs to stay up with her. Then when she turned in and you got to kick away from them, I was wondering if she would stay, but she stayed nicely, and, very pleased with her.
There's one more potential race for her here, the UAE Derby. Are you tempted?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we'll get invited. I'm sure the owner would want to go to see who's coming and stuff, but... we might as well. We're here. It's a $2 million race, and she's a nice filly. It'll be a hard race. Gold Town looks fantastic, and I heard there's some Japanese horses coming over, so, it's not going to be easy, but, it's the next spot for her.
There were only 2 handicaps on the card, the first of which was a very open 1,400-metre affair on the turf. It seemed to be Richard Hannon, who saddled 3, against Godolphin, who had 4, and it was the home team who took the trophy. Top Score had won the Meydan Classic on this card last year and put in another game performance here. Ridden by Christophe Soumillon, he missed the break but ran on well in the closing stages, eventually denying pace setter the Grape Escape by half a length. There was a sting in the tail for Christophe though. A 3-day careless riding ban rules him out of Super Saturday. Ouch.
Top Score beginning to run into it nicely. Above and beyond, Steady Pacer just behind them. Oh, This Is Us, Silver Line down the outside. Still the Grape Escape. Still the leader over Kafu Shamimi. Top Score taking its time to get there on the outside. It's the Grape Escape. Top Score coming out of Oh, This Is Us down the outside. Top Score reaches the lead in the concluding stages. Top Score wins it.
This is probably the strongest edition of the Group 3 Nadal Shiva Trophy that we've had today. It's officially a prep for the Gold Cup, but this is a really good race in its own right. And Vazirabad was second in the race last year behind Beautiful Romance, and I'm feeling he could just be beaten again because this really won't be the be-all and end-all for him. Alain de Roy-Dupré will have him fully wound up on World Cup night, and maybe not tonight. As you can see, he never looks particularly wonderful in the preliminaries. That's just him. He's a super stayer, though, probably the best we've had in Dubai, and he will bid for history were he to win a 3rd race on Dubai World Cup night. So we wish him well with that. But this race, chock full of talent. Prince of Arran, a good winner last time. Natural Scenery is no slouch. And we've got Candera, stablemate of the favourite here, Vazirabad, who was a listed winner herself last time and is an intriguing second string in here for His Highness the Aga Khan. They went without Rembrandt van Rijn, who just didn't fancy it, and Vazirabad occupied his customary spot at the tail of the field, which, unusually for a staying contest, went along at a decent gallop. At the business end, Christophe went for a brave run along the rail, and it almost paid off, were it not for Charlie Appleby's Rare Rhythm, who sprouted wings once in the clear, charging home by 1 3/4 lengths under Buick.
Barish is the leader. Red Galileo going up to challenge as they turn. Prince of Aaron out wider on the track. Back towards the inside for Zerabad's made a lovely run through. They were followed by Rare Rhythm joining in quickly. Rare Rhythm gets the first run. Goes the lead for Zerabad. Now needs to pick up. It's got no momentum. Rare Rhythm, it's clear by 2 lengths for Zerabad, trying to gun it down over on the inside. Rare Rhythm about a half in front for Zerabad, chipping away at the lead. It's Rare Rhythm just in front. He's going to be too good. Rare Rhythm, a brilliant ride by Buick. Rare Rhythm wins over Vizirabad.
If Alain de Roy Dupre was pleased with Vizirabad afterwards, then Charlie was ecstatic with Rare Rhythm, promptly getting on the phone and cancelling a proposed trip to Australia for the Sydney Cup.
I can't say we weren't confident coming in, but the horse is training very well. His last 2 starts, obviously, in the Royal Ascot winner, Duke of Edinburgh there, we were very pleased with him that day, and then he went and backed it up, stepping up in trip to mile and 6 there at York for the listed win. He looked great, I thought, in the paddock there. I knew we had him where we needed to be tonight. He's travelled round there for fun. Like I say, like we've all seen, you can't not be impressed by what he's done. It's not so much the winning margin. It's just with the semi-ease. He just idled once. William just said, yeah, just give him a couple of digs there, and he was off again. But he's travelled into it so easily that he was just idling in the end.
And you did have a sort of plan to take him to Sydney. You've aborted that now?
Yes, I've just spoken to Ines Sheikh Mohammed there, and we've decided we're going to stay here for World Cup night for the Gold Cup. We did have Sydney on the radar there, but the way he's gone and put up a performance like that tonight, we're probably a bit we're better off staying where we are anyway.
The extra distance wouldn't concern you in the Gold Cup?
I don't feel that William was confident enough there. He just says, he gets into such a nice rhythm round there, as we saw this evening there. He's a very easy horse to handle. You can put him where you like, so he can switch off, and he's just got a gear change there. So, I think we should see the extra 2 furlongs out.
There was a rare moment of comedy during the trophy presentation too. William Buick was believed to have been detained by the stewards, so George Woods stepped in to collect his gong, only for William to appear. What larks. Anyway, onto the listed Curlin handicap, famous for once having been won by Curlin and for being the only listed handicap Meydan stages. None of those in it this year are going anywhere near the World Cup, however, but Sultana Dubai is at least a Grade 1 winner and was given a top-class ride by Richie Mullen. The champion jockey gunned the Satish Seemar trainee into the lead from stall 2 and was always holding the favourite, Don't Give Up. The eventual margin was 5 lengths, 1 for each pound the winner has gone up subsequently.
The straight, and Sultana Dubai gave a good kick, as he always does, as they go to the 300. Sultana Dubai's out by 3. Over Don't Give Up, Alabaster chipping away, followed by Ederger, but Sultana Dubai. Richie Mullen cut the ribbons inside the 200 metres and shoots away from Don't Give Up. Battling away Ederger and Alabaster, but Sultana Dubai a soft winner. Sultana Dubai written in the front and too good for them. It's Sultana Dubai by 5 lengths, Don't Give Up.
6 down, 1 to go. And the weekly question of which Godolphin horse would win the last, this time a 2,000 metre turf handicap. Those who got it wrong, including your reporter, can take some comfort in the fact that William Buick did too, the jockey opting for Banksy over top weight Kidney Never. Not to worry, his mate James Doyle did the steering on Kidney Never, who grabbed the lead 300 metres out and posted a 2.5 length success over Barut, with Banksy a non-threatening third.
Home they come. The leader is a Mountain Hunter, but Kidney Never has gone up strongly on the outside and quickly went to the lead. Barut is into the clear, running on strongly. They were followed by Banksy trying to finish off. Godspeed behind them, followed then by Across the Stars. Front runner here is Kidney Never. Back to the inside, trying to get there now is Barut coming home strongly. It's Kidney Never in front. Barut had to change course, come across to the outside of it, but Kidney Never is going to be too strong for them. Kidney Never takes it out. Good, strong performance after covering ground.
So, Carnival Night 9 was a very good one for horses drawn on or near the rail. And for Charlie Appleby, who has now levelled things up at the top of the Carnival Trainers title with Saeed bin Saror. It was also a good night for Richie Mullen. Only one of these was on duty at Al Ain the following day though, as were we. rain, I think, could well fall here in Al Ain. It's pretty cold, pretty miserable and very foreboding, so these people sheltering here under the VIP grandstand have probably got the right idea. But this is the big day of the season here. They've got the 250,000 Al Ain mile for the Arabians coming up later on, and Daham third in the President's Cup behind Ziad, who of course won last night at Meydan. He carries the hopes there of Jean de Roual, and I think he's got a massive chance in that feature. Plus we've also got an interesting sprint for the thoroughbreds. Paranormal, winner over course and distance in January, bids to follow up for champion-elect Doug Watson. The Wasp Bar Stallions private owners race, this time over 2,000 metres, was first up, and it gave an opportunity for trainer-owner Khalifa Al Nayadi to extend his already excellent season. He welcomed back his 8th winner of the campaign, thanks to Al Asail Cast-Off Men Al Emirat, who missed the break, but still cruised to a 4-length success over MH Tawag in the hands of Anas Al Siabi.
Men Al Emirat is nicely clear of the furlong marker here, out by 3 over Tawag. Live Rich down the outside is Elba here finishing on okay, but it's going to be Men Al Emirat that comes away for a pretty solid win in the opening race. Men Al Emirat punched out to the wider win by 3 lengths over Tawag, another 4 off to Live Rich.
On to race 2, also over 2,000 metres, but this time a maiden. This one went to Al Asail themselves, when Musharib gained a success at the 6th time of asking. Ernst Ortel's AF Nafais actually looked the most likely winner turning in, but couldn't see it out, and Ty Gaucher gave Musharib a typically never-say-die ride, needing to be at his strongest to see off the persistent challenge of Safin Arif and Fernando Hara, who went down fighting by a head.
Getting into the clear now is Safin Al Reef. It comes after the front runner, which is Musharab, who's reached the lead. Safin Al Reef, Musharab over on the inside. Safin Al Reef driven up to the front. Musharab won't go away. It fights on strongly. They hit the line. Musharab a nose to Safin Al Reef, then Burj Al Reef.
Al Ain has been the venue for a few landmarks this season, and this was another one for Tig. Ty Gaucher, who's just actually overtaken Willie Supple in the all-time UAE winners list. Well done. I'm sure that's another nice one to sort of tick off.
Yeah, no, listen, and great to do so in these colours. You know, they've been very good to me, and without them I wouldn't have reached this milestone. You know, way back when I came to Dubai in 2001, Willie Supple, Ted Durkin, Richard Hills were the guys you looked up to, you know, so to get anywhere near those sort of lads and winners and let alone past them is, you know, it's fantastic. And, you know, Dubai and the UAE and Abu Dhabi as a whole have been very, very good to me and my family.
That, though, looked pretty hard work. You had him in your sights for a long way, but it must have seemed a long straight.
Yeah, look, listen, I've been saying to Eric all along, you know, he's a horse crying out to cover the ground, you know, and he works well at home at Al Asail on the sand. And look, he's never flash, he only does the minimum, you know, and to be fair, he fought off the Ortel horse and got the better of him. And then we had Fernando come on the outside with his challenge, you know, and he definitely headed me with 100 metres to go, but all credit to my horse, he battled back and I had a very willing partner.
Yeah, you did. And in the next, Asiad's been really consistent, hasn't she?
Yeah, the form is holding up. Actually, Fernando's horse there was second to Asiad the last day here, so it's good to see that one run so well. So hopefully Asiad has a good chance. She deserved more than anything to break her maiden last time, so hopefully that confidence booster will done her well and she can go in again.
Asiad ran well enough, finishing 5th, but it was the Al Asail third string who emerged on top. Bashaya was backing up quickly after her third at Sharjah the week before and brought her good form to this Emirate too, cruising to a length and 3/4 success over AF Makara, whose stablemate AF Tathor was third.
Shea over on the inside, Makra running around all over the place. Serena is down the outside, Bashir is the front runner over on the fence. Has found about a half length over Makra, which can't hold it out, and Bashir is going to come on for a good soft win in the end. Bashir wins well, Makra runs second.
Jockey Jose Santiago is an integral part of the Satish Seamar work riding team, but probably doesn't get the race day opportunities he deserves, this being his first win of the season.
So happy to I rode last week in Sharjah. She was giving me good ride, finished 30. I was feeling happy to ride today. I was feeling she will run good. She started well, you know, coming the straight, she pick up well. So happy to get a ride like that, to get win.
And Eric's been good to you. He seems to look quite like putting you up when he's got a spare ride.
Yeah, he helped me a lot, you know, because when you ride for better horse, you know, help for the job to get more ride. He do help me a lot. This is give me a few good ride. It's nice to have trainer like behind you to help you sometimes like that.
Second, or even third, strings winning became something of a theme. And the same thing happened in race 4, a 1400-metre handicap. Pat Cosgrave had elected to partner Gaffel of Hilal Al-Alawi's two runners, but had to watch on from a remote second as Kandouche galloped to an impressive victory under Harry Bentley. Placed on 4 of his previous starts but never a winner, the 4-year-old righted that here, giving Bentley his 5th winner of the campaign.
Kandouche still with a tidy break, 100 metres out, and Kandouche out by 4 lengths over Gaffel. Lazaz is down the outside. Murray here battles away, but Kandouche for a soft win. Kandouche wins by 5 lengths, second in Gaffel.
As you might expect for the prize fund on offer, we've got a very strong Alain Mile for the Arabians coming up. And the favourite, if there were such a thing, would be Daham, who lines up here for Jean de Roual, of course, fresh for his big success last night at Maidan. Looks the one to beat based on that, a good third last time in the President's Cup. But we do have 2 former winners of this race in here, namely number 6, Najem Elemarat, and also Aslan, who won it last year. But I think that Jean de Roual's horse could just be a little bit too strong for them. The first relief was when the tricky but talented Mawahib entered and exited the stalls without drama. But her race seemed always marked for second, behind a dominant winner. Kakaway de Bazoul had been something of a bridesmaid up until now, but deserved this win. Given a positive ride by Sylvester de Souza, Ahmed Al-Maherbi's charge was much the best, eventually winning by a length.
Kakaway de Bazouls is fighting tooth and nail here. Morahib is down the outside trying to get there, trying to finish on, but has kicked strongly. Kakaway de Bazouls inside the furlong marker. Kakaway de Bazouls has fought off the challenge of Morahib. Over on the inside, Mogadir battles on well with Daham. The front runner is Kakaway de Bazouls. Coming back is Morahib late, but Kakaway de Bazouls takes the mile, wins it by a length over Morahib. A gap away in the field to Daham.
Rated 112. Kakaway de Bazoul was in the Kahela Classic anyway, but Sylvester's post-race interview made interesting listening in that regard.
It was a wide draw and I was quite happy to see it just wide and off the kickback, and he ran a fantastic race, you know, in Maidan and 2 weeks ago, and no, very pleased he bounced him back and he bounced in good form, you know.
Assuming he goes to the Kahela Classic, do you think sort of 2,000 metres is okay, or is a mile more his trip?
I love to see him always of a mile. I think he's a proper mile and could stretch him out a bit in the Kahela, but he got a free entry to go there now, so I leave to the connections to decide what they're going to do, but I think, my opinion, his best trip is of a mile.
For the record, trainer Eric Lamartinelle said that second-home Mawahib will also head to the Kahela, a further boon for the Alain Mile, which surely warrants listed status. 1,000-metre sprints are pretty much always competitive, and this thoroughbred race coming up at Alain is no exception. Doug Watson runs 3 in here, including this fellow Paranormal, who Pat Dobbs has elected to ride. He was a good winner here in January. There's not a great deal of him, as you can see, but he does have ability, followed out by the one that Sam Hitchcock is on here, Team Meeting, a relative newcomer to the Watson yard. As you can see, he absolutely dwarfs Paranormal, quite a big, strong horse. And they also have in here Dangerous Thought, who's got a fair bit of toe, and I think shouldn't be dismissed lightly either. So a really good race for the penultimate event on the card. The rain had really set in by now, some people being better dressed for it than others. But even that can't really be blamed for an upset in the thoroughbred race. There's no betting at Alain, but if there was, winner Royal History would surely have been a 100-to-1 shot, having been beaten a combined 80 lengths on his previous 4 starts. He is quite big though, and stuck his long neck out to deny Paranormal and First Down in a thrilling dash for the line.
Paranormal with the yellow is over towards the inside, followed by Expo 20, and over towards the fence there is Al Abiyad. They've got 200 metres to go. First Down and narrow leader coming at it. Royal History. Paranormal out wider is General Line. It's Royal History going to the front. Paranormal driving through. Royal History in front. Paranormal lunged. Royal History the outside, I'd say a nose to Paranormal. First Down.
The win was the first of the season for trainer Ahmed Al-Shamsi, and a first ever in this country for Brazilian jockey Elion Chavez.
I just try to ride the same trend only. Jump out, go to front, behind the lead, or go to front. It's low weight, 53 kilo. Yes, I do it.
And tell us a bit about yourself, because you're based in Sweden and you're here with the carnival horses.
Yes, I come the horse from Sweden. I ride the horse from Sweden in Maidan. Then I have a chance a little bit go out to ride. In Jabla, tomorrow I ride Maidan again. So.
And how do you like it here? How do you like the tracks?
It's okay. Good, nice track. Yeah.
Are you going to come back next year?
I hope so. If I get something, I can come.
And how many different countries have you ridden winners in now?
Sorry?
How many different countries have you had winners in?
In Singapore, Brazil, I'm from Brazil, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. My first win in the Iron.
On to the finale, for which 15 Arabians lined up for a 1,000-metre maiden sprint. Narges hadn't done a lot wrong, apart from win, in her career so far, and Halal Al-Alawi's 4-year-old filly gained compensation here. She and Pat Cosgrave passed the post half a length in front of AF Liwa, another second on an annoying evening for Ernst Ortel.
The front-runner Liwa skips away with a good break now over at Dad El Kiel. Narges is coming on strong out of the middle. They're broken away from the rest. The leader is Liwa. Narges is coming out of the late stages. Liwa, Narges is finishing powerfully on the outside. Liwa, Narges pokes his nose in front. Narges takes the last from Liwa, then Dad El Kiel.
There's just one meeting left at Al Ain, which will bring you on the 16th of March. Now though, back to Meydan.
Good afternoon from Meydan for their second meeting of the weekend, and it's actually their penultimate meeting of the campaign for the locally trained horses here, and as you'd expect, opportunities beginning to thin out, which means we've got plenty of big fields today, making it incredibly competitive, none more so than in the feature, which is race 5. Plenty of horses dropping down from the carnival there, and ordinarily you'd think they'd be in with a chance dropping down in grade, but because so many of them are doing it, it is a very competitive race. We've also got a couple of maidens, starting off with Heart Power up against Big Brown Bear in the opening maiden for 3-year-olds. It's over 1,600 metres on dirt. All the talk is about Big Brown Bear. But could Adre de Vries get Heart Power out to the front? She's a filly and she's in receipt of plenty of weight. Looking at them in the paddock before the race, it also looked a two-horse affair. Big Brown Bear living up to his name in being a well-made sort, with Heart Power a taller, less furnished model, but with scope to progress as time went on. In the race itself, she was the more streetwise, and once she got to the front under Adre de Vries, it was game over.
For home they come, and Heart Power with a lighter weight is still nicely clear. They go inside the final 350. Heart Power is out by 4 lengths. Dorilus Atagrul gets to second from Jockey Joe. Rura Augusta, Big Brown Bear's not in the scene. It's 200 metres away from victory. Heart Power still nicely clear. Rura Augusta running on strongly. Dorilus Atagrul is battling away, but Heart Power might have pinched it here. It's away in front. It is Heart Power nicely clear, and the filly's going to be too good in the first. Heart Power wins by 3 lengths, second in Rua Augusta.
Big Brown Bear still has some learning to do, but not so Heart Power, who had been no match for Rhea and Winter Lightning previously. This was clearly easier, but her jockey, Adre de Vries, also believes she was well suited by the step up to 1,600 metres.
It was only a case of get on a nice rhythm. Last couple of times over 7 furlongs, she's not quick enough out of the gate. She was immature as well. Today she winged the gate and she got in a nice rhythm. She settled in front, not doing too much, and she's got a huge stride, so that made all the difference today.
And those fillies, once they get out in front in these maidens, it's very difficult to make up ground on them, isn't it?
Yes, it is, definitely, and they're unexperienced horses, like I say, and if they're getting a kickback, they maybe don't show their best, as she did in her first 2 races. Today she was nice and relaxed in front, and she's hard to catch. She got a huge stride on her.
A 1,200 metre sprint followed, and many people believed this could go the way of Mutahadith, given his tendency to lead and the fact he had fallen in the weights. There was also Beauchart to consider, who was having just his second start of the season. Neither truly fired, however, and it was Call to War who caused the second minor surprise of the evening.
Beauchart the leader, but under pressure, pouring it on still. Call to War on the outside. Mutahadith comes off its back, runs on strongly. Zara, he was next. They were followed by Adram, who can't get a run through. Down the outside, Strong Chemistry. Salvadori begins to finish on. Call to War's done plenty of work, but is still the leader. Salvadori coming through on the inside, then Mutahadith. The leader is Call to War. Salvadori ran through to second, but Call to War, brilliant ride by Doyle. It's going to be Call to War who takes it out by a half length. Second, Salvadori.
2 wins in a couple of weeks for the Gopi Selvaratnam yard, and a first for the trainer here at Meydan, as Call to War held off Salvadori to win by 3/4 of a length. The season ending too soon for Selvaratnam, who has enjoyed his campaign in charge at Jebel Ali Stables.
He's had 2 previous tough races, and he has been working well at home, so I thought I'll bring him here on a nice flat track, and it worked.
Certainly did, and he obviously came from America. Did he? I mean, his form's been good, but did he just take a little bit of time to acclimatise over here as well?
Yeah, when he came from the States, he was a bit weak, so it took some time for him to get acclimatized. But he'll be a better horse next season.
Is there any race for him in a couple of weeks' time, do you know?
I don't think so.
That's unfortunate. And the season for you just ending too quickly. That's a couple of winners in the last 2 weeks.
I know, it's too soon, but it's been a good run.
And nice to get your first winner here at Meydan as well.
Yeah, it's always good to have a nice winner here.
We were back on the turf for race 3 and a 1,800 metre maiden in which Cape of Eagles held solid claims. Dewas had also hinted at a revival last time when stepping onto the green stuff, and it was the latter who emerged on top and finally began to realise some of the potential he displayed earlier in his career.
Into the straight they come. Atta Arla has gone up on the outside and caught it. Loyal Soldier. Dewas gets into the clear. Sultana, the grey, is out in the middle trying to finish on. Gundog too. Next of all is Mukatil down the outside running on well. Dewas in the middle comes alongside of Atta Arla inside the final 150. Dewas driven to the lead by Richie Mullen. Running on hard. Cape of Eagles in the late stages of the race, but Dewas has the break and Dewas comes on for a solid victory in the third. Second Cape of Eagles. Third in Mukatil.
It had taken an age for owner Ali Haddad to secure his first thoroughbred winner, but a second very quickly followed. Dewas winning with a bit to spare, and he certainly appears to have turned a corner. Several reasons for that, as Haddad explained afterwards.
We were just trying to see the distance and whether grass or dirt. Last time he was on turf, he came fourth out of 16. So we thought that this is it. And he did it.
Indeed.
He did it.
When you look at his pedigree, the fact that you bought him in America, it all points to you running him on dirt, doesn't it? So it's maybe no surprise that's why you've gone that route.
That's why we had a lot of talking about that with the trainer. Okay, this is a US horse. He is a dirt horse. Look at his pedigree. He's a dirt. But you never know.
And you also had to geld him as well. Was that a tough decision or has that helped him?
No. After the first... that was Richie's suggestion, and I believe that these people are more experienced than me. They are the professional. After all, we are amateurs. So he said, Ali, this horse I could not control him the first run. He just kept looking around and geld him. So it took us only half an hour to decide, and we did.
It looks like a good move, and hopefully he's a horse that's going to improve again next season, do you think?
Well, I hope you will see him in the DWC next year. Why not?
Satish Seemar, trainer of Dewas, was three-handed in our next, a 2,000 metre dirt handicap, with Richie Mullen opting to ride Storyboard, who was in search of a hat-trick after a perfect start to his UAE career. He produced a lethargic display, however, and it was left to Doug Watson to reaffirm his status as the champion trainer in waiting for another year.
It is a Grandon Gentier. Debashi now going up on the outside to have a crack at it. Running on strongly, Philosopher out in the middle. Agapo at a Storyboard who's dropped off, followed by Pilgrim's Treasure. Grandon Gentier is joined by Debashi. Debashi's gone up to the front with 200 metres to go. Grandon Gentier over on the inside. Philosopher is trying hard down the outside, but Debashi has reached the lead. Got a length in front now over Grandon Gentier and pushed out by Pat Dobbs. Debashi takes it out in good fashion. A length and a half Debashi over Grandon Gentier.
Debashi never does much when hitting the front, but had the perfect horse to aim at in Grandon Gentier, who gave a bold sight out in front. A 1-2 for Watson, with his tried and true finishing fourth for good measure. On to tonight's feature. We're back on the turf for it, and a very competitive race it is, with one of the more likely winners being number 7, Ajabi, one of several in the race for Doug Watson. He's won his last 2. I don't think he's a horse that does an awful lot when he hits the front, and I'm pretty sure he's done pretty well to win both of his races so far. He had a length and a quarter to spare over the reopposing Pillar of Society last time out. He is stepping up to a mile, but it looks as though it's going to suit him, and he could just be a nice horse for the Carnival in 12 months' time. If that's the case, then he probably should be winning here. Ajabi could never really get much cover from his widest draw, and failed to make an impact. But horses from the back certainly did. Mail Shot delivering for the second time over this course and distance in the expert hands of Michael Barcelona.
Pillar of Society showed the way as they turn in. Out with a good break. It's got 3 lengths over Hyde Park as they turn for home. Pupil begins to run on. Sharp Defence was next of all from Mind That Boy. Now Ajabi is down the outside, beginning to hit a stride as they go to the final 250. It is over on the inside, Pillar of Society, joined by Pupil. Now out in the middle, Mind That Boy. Ajabi might have come to the end of its run. Getting through near the inside. Mail Shot's taken the cheeky run. And Mozawad is also coming home strongly, but Mail Shot went to the lead. Mozawad is after it, but Mail Shot's going to take it out. Mail Shot, a very clever ride by Barcelona, gets the money over Mozawad.
News had broken soon after race 1 that Salem Bin Gidea had incurred a ban, with his High on Life found with ketamine in his system after winning at Jebel Ali. The ban subject to appeal, with the trainer happy to confront the matter head-on in his post-race interview, but not before he praised the efforts of Mail Shot.
I believe he have more quality than this field, just last race, just he finished third behind, just Blair House, Mountain Hunter, Carnival Type, and it's good horses, third horses. So I think, just he playing his handicap, his rating, just for me, just I saw him much than 95 marks. And I mean, his new horse, and you have already two wins from him. I believe that, just he have plenty of improvement in the future, so I think he will be a good horse for next season.
Yeah, he certainly looks it. And do you think a strong pace is key to him as well? He needs that strong pace?
Yes, it's helped him even today, just even like the base was a little bit, just good gallop, fast pace, just, and help him, just to make a good finish, just with the horses in front of him was like going a little bit fast pace, just. And I think, just even, so far, we didn't discuss yet, just what the best distance for me is a miler, but, just you have ability to go till 9 furlong or 10 furlong even.
That was one bright spark. I must ask you about the news that's emerged today. A difficult couple of days for you, I'm sure. What can you say about what's happened?
To be honest, I don't know, just the subject, what they say, what they announced, it's ketamine. And It's came, just at 26th of January. It's a black day for me, to be honest. Just the day with Frankie Four Fingers, just fell down in the track. I mean, they found the ketamine in High on Life. That one he ran after 2 races when Frankie Four Fingers fell down. And to be honest with you, I don't know like what's medicine or we use it for what. When I asked them, it's used it for what they said. It's used to sleep the horse. So suddenly, just Frankie, just coming in my mind, and I asked him, did you use a ketamine with Frankie? And they said, yes, we used the ketamine with Frankie, and it's appear on High on Life. I read bit about this medicine. It's good, like by injectable or by touch, just if you touch the medicine or the blood or something. High on Life ran with tongue tie. Me and 3 persons of my team just running to reach Frankie when he fell down, and we was holding the horses, even holding the medicine, help the vet to give the medicine. Then we go back, just to saddle High on Life, and even, just the guy who was holding the medicine, he tongue-tied the High on Life.
So what you're saying, sorry, Salem, is that Frankie Four Fingers was given ketamine after his fall, and you believe it's contaminated?
Question, sir. I mean, why the ketamine appeared that day and didn't appear, just in 4 years? I mean, they said what I know, just it's to sleep the horse. If I'm gonna use something, I'm gonna use something to increase the performance or to sleep the horse, to sleep like 5 furlong sprinter horse. I mean, even just when I ask about the blood sample, the A blood sample, it's appear, it's positive. But the B blood sample, it's unconfirmed from France Liberty. I mean, if they, I mean, everything for me it's clear, just if it's another medicine or something, it's different story. But ketamine, after when the people use the ketamine for another horse, same stable, same horse connected. So if they try, for me, I have a full confidence, and the one I make like surprised me so much. It's Abil, and I found it in the ARA side. So this point till now I don't know what's going. But I asked for appeal, and we will go for that. I'm 100% sure this medicine, I don't know even how. If it's in high on life body, I don't know. Maybe it's come from the sky with the rain. This is a different story.
Back to the dirt, and 12 lined up over 1,600 metres, with Satish Seema, again the trainer, seemingly to focus on, with Mr Palmer making a rare visit to the track. It was the first time in his career that he was having a second run in a season, but he barely threatened. Moussair landing the spoils for Doug Watson and Jim Crowley, the horse winning for the third time this season.
Moussair making ground around the outside, coming into it nicely, then Lithens and Anns, followed by Simple Attack. A gap away in the field then to Mr Palmer, who looks to be struggling down the outside, running on his pathway to honour. Moussair goes up on the outside of Maseed, inside the final 280. Moussair getting the upper hand seemingly. Down the outside, Simple Attack is running on. Maseed is battling away strongly. Moussair the front runner. Maseed trying to come back over on the inside, but Moussair has raced away, and it's going to be his third win of the season. Moussair comes on for a solid victory by a length and a half. Maseed second.
A tough sort who had won over as short as 1,200 metres earlier in the campaign, Moussair had his excuses the last twice and held off the Seema-trained pair of Maseed and Simple Attack with a degree of comfort. 2 more to go, and we are on the straight track next. Farouk in the unusual position of trying to win his second race of the day. He had been awarded the aforementioned contest at Jebel Ali with a disqualification of High on Life, and he gave a bold sight in trying to complete that unique double. He couldn't stave off Big Time, however. Jabbar Ramadan's charge clearly appreciating the return to turf.
They go to the 300 metres, they're wide apart, but Big Time just ahead of Farouk. Now Grebe is coming through, rifle scope, Edge Bar not too far away. Big Time a narrow leader, Farouk is coming at it. Also Grebe finishing very strongly. It's Grebe getting through the middle, but Big Time's just in front. Big Time over on the inside, Edge Bar comes late. Big Time fighting hard to the wire, and Big Time onto the turf and straight into the winner's stall.
A second winner of the season for Ramadan, and following in the hoofprints of Dutch Masterpiece, who similarly ploughed his own furrow more towards the near rail when he won. Big Time is owned by Akil Abdul Rahim, who was delighted with his first winner here in Dubai.
I'm really happy to be here. It's my first horse in Dubai and in Meydan. I've been looking to buy this horse since 2 years, and I was lucky to get him this year. I really love the horse, and I'm thankful to trainer Jabbar Ramadan. Once I hear that he's going to come to Dubai, I decided to have a horse and keep it with him. And I think he looked at the horse very well. He's gone 2 runs on the dirt. I believe he didn't like that ground. And today he's back to his form on the turf, so very happy with it.
What was it about him that you liked in England? What made you buy him?
Well, I've been looking at his races earlier for the last 2 years. And he was in 2016 Tattersall's auction, but he was withdrawn the day I was there. So I go back to him 2017, and hopefully I get him.
You did. And do you own horses elsewhere? Are you involved with Jabbar back in Bahrain?
Yes, exactly. I do have 3 horses back in Bahrain, and hopefully we are happy now, and maybe we'll increase them next year here.
I was going to say that was my next question. Would you be looking to buy more and bring more here, do you think?
Yeah, of course, definitely. Big Time gave me a big chance now, and I have to do it.
An attritional 2,000 metre dirt handicap closed out the card, with Murrayfield looking the pick of the parade ring for Rashid Borsley. He also arrived in form, which couldn't be said about many of these, and as we'd become to expect from such distance races on the dirt, the field was soon strung out like Brown's cows.
Taylor's Row has been joined as they turn by Sheba, who jogs into it. Sheba has quickly gone up on the outside and hit the lead. Sheba gets away by 2. Taylor's Row trying to fight on. They were followed by Heraldic, then Cartier Francais. Mia's came to the end of its run. Murrayfield begins to run on, but Sheba opens right up here for Pat Dobbs in the final race and is going to absolutely walk home. Sheba is going to bolt in the final race of the night, and Sheba wins by the best part of 8 lengths. Second in Taylor's Row, a good debut in the UAE. Close up is Heraldic.
Struth indeed, as Sheba scored by the not too insignificant margin of 12.5 lengths. Some of the field still likely making their way round as the floodlights went out on another competitive Saturday evening of racing at Meydan. They had surely made it home though by the time Abu Dhabi kicked off on Sunday. Tom Hutchings in prime position to bring you the action.
Competitive stuff to kick things off here in March in the country's capital as Abu Dhabi hosts 2 Group 2s for the purebred Arabians. Got the Arabian Triple Crown round 2 coming up, as well as the downgraded Liwa Oasis, which sees a rematch between RB Torch and Rimas coming up. Add into that the His Highness the President Cup, a listed event for the thoroughbreds, who've got a cracking evening of racing ahead. Brett Doyle has been showcasing his skills in the UAE this winter and got his 3rd winner in 8 days with Jat Burhan in the opening Gantut Maiden for trainer Irfan Elahi. That's 3 winners for Doyle now, who is starting to get into top gear at the business end of the season. The second race on the card was the Baynuna Condition Stakes over 1,400 metres. And it was one of the 2 big-hitting Arabian stables that were to take this one. Arabian Farm Shahrazad gave them a good toe into the race, but was soon collared by AF Al Almar for Sylvester de Souza and Ed Sortel, going on to win by 4 1/4 lengths. The reigning UK champion jockey notched his 13th winner here for the season in straightforward style. Sylvester, congratulations. That seemed a bit of a push-button job there, coming into the home straight.
Yeah, it was. He jumped out very smart, and I just bide my time, and he's just quickened up nicely when I want to, you know.
And with the purebred Arabians, you're happy to take up these rides when the opportunity arises?
Yeah, my opportunity is very little in the country, so I have to make the most the one I get. But I just love to keep myself busy, and and that's what I'm doing for a living, riding horses. So I just keep riding.
And you wouldn't fancy going to Newcastle over the last couple of days?
No, yeah, it's about probably another 2 weeks' time I will be around.
The first of the Group 2s was up next, and this one was the downgraded Liwa Oasis, again over the 1,400 metres. The field looked full of class, the most interesting 2 being John de Rual's Rimas and Eric Lamartinel's RB Torch, coming up against each other again after the former downed the latter in the Arrow Ace. Would Rimas be able to stand strong? A brilliant ride from Richie Mullen as the 5-year-old Rimas proved his class yet again.
In fairness, Tom, I didn't have the greatest of trips around. I was in stall 9 today, which was a huge difference to the low draw I had in the last race that we won here. It's always tough to sort of give ground away on the turf and around a tight track like this. So, once I got through the gap, he was a very willing partner, in fairness. So, although he's probably made harder work than he should have done, but I just think it was, like I say, it wasn't the best trip around I had, and I had to sort of give plenty of ground away. But great training performance by Jean. We've had the horse here since he ran in the Crown Jewel, and he's won 3 for 3 now. So. He's an exciting prospect going forward, for future next season and onwards. So I'm very privileged to be a very, very small part of a big team, and like I say, it's a privilege riding horses like this.
A couple of withdrawals meant 11 went to post in the official feature on the card. The listed His Highness the President Cup for the thoroughbreds worth 380,000 dirhams. This looked a tight contest on paper. Satish Seemar's Hawkesbury had previously showed an enjoyment for Abu Dhabi, and His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum also appeared to have a strong hand. And it was that owner that came out on top too, finishing with a 1-2 in fact, and this was a very impressive performance from Muntazar. Doug Watson purred about the colt when getting him into the yard, but jockey Jim Crowley admitted it hasn't always been straightforward since the 5-year-old got to the UAE. Jim, well done. It must be nice to see that horse give his true running and show his full ability there.
Yeah, obviously he's a beautiful looking horse and smashing pedigree, and he promised a lot in England and sort of didn't really fulfil it last season. So to come here, his first run he was drawn very wide, and I from that draw last time I didn't want to send him up there and burn him out and fall in a heap, but by doing that we ended up too far back. But it was a good prep, and I knew today that he'd run a big race around here. He had a nice draw, and everything went perfect in the race.
Could be one that could be good for dirt as well next year, perhaps.
Yeah, he trains well on the dirt, and when he first came here, he showed nothing when he first came, and every week he's improved, and I would have been surprised when I first rode him if he won a race this season, but he'd improved so much that for him to go and win a nice race like that, it bodes well for next season.
It was a strong middle part of the card as the second Group 2 for purebred Arabians was up next, round 2 of their Triple Crown. Arabian Farm and Al Ajban with 2 apiece in here, plus Al Asail with 3. Would it be one of these that was going to prevail? The listed form behind ES Ajib looked strong following what he looked like he was going to do at Sharjah last week before an unfortunate incident. So Goshawk was entitled to win this and did well for Abdullah Al Hamadi and Fernando Hara. Al Ajban have been in fine form in the past couple of months, another good purse for them. The private owners race was the penultimate on the card and it was packed as usual. 14 made it to the track for this one and there wasn't a lot between the field. But it was another successful one for Arabian Farm as Antonio Fresu got his first winner of the evening for Ernst Ortel and Khalid Al Nabuda on AF Wakas. A 25th winner of the season for Fresu, who has now bettered his tally from 2016-17 with a month of racing to go. By 7:30, the night had well and truly closed in, as 16 went to post for the 1600-metre Albertine Handicap to close proceedings, and the race was to go a similar way as a few of them before. It was to be an unsuccessful night for Al Asail, which we aren't used to at Abu Dhabi, but Ernst Ortel was celebrating a hat-trick at the end of the night as AF Asasham was ridden to victory ahead of Harab. A double on the night for Sylvester de Souza too, taking him to 14 for the season on a very entertaining evening's racing. Just 2 more meetings to come from Abu Dhabi now, starting next Sunday. A massive 29 races have been run in the Emirates over the 4 meetings. Does that mean there'll be some movement in the jockeys, trainers and owners' title races? Let's take a look. With the season nearly over, Tygo O'Shea's lead of 8 surely means that he'll be crowned this season's champion jockey, now on 42 wins for the season ahead of Richie Mullin, with not much between the rest below. Doug Watson is 7 clear of Eric Lamartinel in the Trainers' Championship. 40 was enough for him last season, and he now sits on 42. He'll take some catching now, whilst Ernst Ortel has put some daylight between 3rd and 4th. After a successful Abu Dhabi, Khalid Khalifa Al Nabuda is just 3 behind His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. They're on 32 and 35 winners respectively. And what a season it's been again for the boys in blue, already matching their previous tally at 29. The Australian superstar Winx was the obvious highlight from outside the UAE at the weekend. Could she make it 23 wins in a row in the Chipping Norton? I'll now hand over to Stephen Molyneux and Meg Hebert to fill you in on that, plus plenty more worldwide.
Those up early enough on Saturday morning had the fortune of seeing Winx back in action, as she took her place in the lineup for the Group 1 Chipping Norton Stakes at Randwick. Victory would see her surpass Black Caviar's record of 15 top-flight successes, and, as has become the norm, there was little to worry about, as she made it 23 wins on the trot and a 3rd in this particular race.
Hugh Bowman just sitting there like a department store mannequin, hasn't touched the mare, and off she goes. Prized Icon going home in a second, and Libran's making ground, but nudge, nudge, wink, wink, away she goes, the champ, and this is an Australian record of 16 Group 1s. Winx powers away to beat Prized Icon and makes it 3 Chipping Nortons.
We will see her again in 3 weeks when she lines up in the George Ryder Stakes at Rosehill, after which a decision on whether she travels to Royal Ascot is likely to be made. The Group 1 James Boag's Premium Surround Stakes followed, with James Cummings saddling the favourite Elise for Godolphin. The 3-year-old filly was already a Group 1 winner at the track, but couldn't make it 2, having to settle for 6th behind Scholes, who was causing a minor upset.
Elise's going to need some luck. She's still second last, looking for the runs now. Shamook goes for home at the 300. 2 lengths clear from Scholes, and Mostrip back to the inside. Elise spotting the gap. She's starting to come into it now. Scholes is gunning it down to Shamook. Then came Elise, Rimram and Torval the outside. Scholes takes the lead. Torval the outside. Scholes in front from Torval and Shamook, and Scholes wins it. Scholes went on to beat Torval.
Things were no more cut and dried in the 2-year-old contest for fillies, the Group 2 Embrace Stakes. Hugh Bowman warmed up for his ride aboard Winx in partnering Seabrook, and she emerged on top in another close-run thing.
Around the turn, it's Setsuna in front from Into the Abyss. They're followed by Adamina pulling out. Casadeva goes back towards the rails. Then came Fiesta and Seabrook to the outside. Setsuna being tackled now by Into the Abyss. Fiesta's closing in, so Seabrook on the outside. It's Fiesta going up to Setsuna. Seabrook the outside. It's Fiesta and Seabrook fighting it out. Fiesta and Seabrook. Seabrook's driving home best, and Bowman gets the Victorian home. Seabrook wore down Fiesta.
One more to look at, and that was the Group 2 Guy Walter Proven Thoroughbred Stakes, a race for the fillies and mares over 1,400 metres. Dixie Blossoms was the one to be on here, and she returned from a break to gain a deserved success, having rarely been out of the frame in her career to date.
Up the straight, Frankelita just in front from Raymond, Eckstein to Toya, Danish Twist, Dixie Blossoms gets going now, Slightly Sweet's making ground, Raymond takes the lead, 200 out, but here comes Dixie Blossoms chasing another title, and she goes into overdrive. Dixie Blossoms going past Raymond, who tries to fight on, but Dixie Blossoms goes back to back, and the Guy Walter went on to beat Raymond.
There was also Group 1 over at Flemington, as 16 went to post in the Australian Guineas. Grunt had beaten several of these when scoring in a Group 3 at the track last time, and he emerged on top again. Damien Oliver, the man doing the steering.
500 metres to go in the $1 million Australian Guineas, and it's Cliff's Edge in front by about 3 lengths around the turn. From in second place, Bring Me Roses, who rails through, followed by Addictive Nature. Grunt to the outside from Peaceful State. Main stage, Villamont into the clear. Cliff's Edge at the 300 metres. 2.5, Bring Me Roses, they're getting closer. Grunt, Peaceful State and Villamont down the outside. Cliff's Edge at the 150. Grunt, Bring Me Roses and Peaceful State. Grunt lifts in the middle at the 50. Peaceful State going with it. Grunt and neck, Peaceful State. Grunt fights, it's a trier, it's a winner. Grunt wins it from Peaceful State, Bring Me Roses, Villamont, followed by Holy Snow.
The road to the Kentucky Derby took another major step forward this week with the running of the Group 2 Fountain of Youth Stakes over 1.5 miles a furlong at Gulfstream Park in Florida. A field of 9 hopeful sophomores lined up, headed by Breeders' Cup juvenile champion Good Magic, who is making his seasonal debut here for Chad Brown and owners E5 Racing. Good Magic was, however, outclassed throughout this race by the front-running 18-1 longshot Promises Fulfilled. Jumping best of the pack, the Dale Romans trained son of Shackelford led into the first turn at Gulfstream, an advantage he was not willing to relinquish. Asked for a sustained effort on the home stretch, he accelerated to put 2.25 lengths between himself and the runner-up Strike Power, with the aforementioned Good Magic a further 2.25 lengths in third. Promises Fulfilled victory therefore explained the theory behind the scratching of fellow Romans trainee, Free Drop Billy, who will instead take his chance in next Saturday's Group 3 Gotham Stakes at Aqueduct.
Good Magic will need to do better. He's third, only 2.5 lengths off the lead. Then it's a gap of 3 to Machismo, who finds his best stride, and they turn in. The leader, Promises Fulfilled, tries to do it every step. Strike Power to the attack one more time. Good Magic has been defeated, then Machismo. Less than a 16th to go. The leader is still Promises Fulfilled, and Promises Fulfilled will spring the upset to win the Fountain of Youth under Irad Ortiz Jr.
Gulfstream also hosted the first of 2 Kentucky Oaks trials this weekend in the 1 mile Group 2 Devonna Dale Stakes. The Devonna looked to be a rematch of this venue's Group 3 Forward Gal Stakes from February the 3rd, with the victress, Take Charge Paula, the runner-up Sultry, the 4th place finisher, Heaven Has My Nikki, and Miss Momentum, who checked in 6th, all participating once again. It was, however, the Malibu Moon filly Flying So High that captured the spoils here after enduring an early trip wide on. Asked by jockey Jose Ortiz for an effort in the home stretch, she pulled away from the pack for an impressive 3-length score. Flying So High's victory also represented an important milestone in the career of her trainer Shug McGahey as his 2000th winner. In second place was the aforementioned Take Charge Paula, who finished 3/4 length to the good of Heaven Has My Nikki.
Fly So High now gets a narrow lead. Heaven Has My Nikki not going away without a fight. She's digging in gamely. Take Charge Paula is next, and then Sultry. But in deep stretch, it's a milestone victory for Shug McGahey. Win 2000 in the Devonna Dale with Fly So High.
A top-class turf contest this weekend at Gulfstream was the Group 2 Mac Demida Stakes over 1 mile and 3 furlongs for older horses. Champion American turf sire Kitten's Joy was appropriately represented in this field by the 2 class performers. 2017 Group 1 Sword Dancer hero Sadler's Joy, as well as last up Group 3 WL McKnight Handicap winner Oscar Nominated. Breaking slowest of them all from the gates in the 1 hole, Sadler's Joy trailed the field throughout the opening mile of this contest before unleashing a sparkling turn of foot down the middle of the track to score by 3/4 length. The front runner, Wongo Orgo, held on for second, with Nessie a further 3/4 length third. Oscar Nominated checked in a slightly disappointing 4th place.
Here's Sadler's Joy from dead last, and he's rolling home. Sadler's Joy is going to try to go last to first, and he will. Sadler's Joy and Leparoux going away in the McDermott. What a run.
The second Kentucky Oaks prep this past weekend was hosted in California at Santa Anita Racecourse. The Group 3 Santa Yazabel Stakes, over 1.5 miles a furlong, has been won by some top-class distaffers, including last year's winner, and 2017 Eclipse Award champion female sprinter Unique Bella. The defection of Phoenix Thoroughbred's flagship mare Dream Tree due to the wet track made the race a whole lot easier on paper for Midnight Bizu, who has finished runner-up to the Uncle Mo filly in the only 2 career starts in which she has ever been beaten. And the race played out perfectly according to the script. Midnight Bizu had a stalking trip for much of the race before drawing alongside and then quickly passing 13 Squared in the lane to win by 2 1/4 lengths in her 2-turn debut. 13 Squared stayed on bravely to finish second, with Spring Lily a huge 8 lengths adrift in third. Midnight Bizu will now aim for the April the 7th Group 1 Santa Anita Oaks as her final prep for the Group 1 Kentucky Oaks on May the 4th.
Brett Doyle has been rolling back the years in the UAE over recent weeks and showed his strengths once again on Meydan's local card on Saturday for his old boss, His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He was drawn widest of all on the Meydan dirt over 1,200 metres riding Call to War. It's got every fraction right to deliver him home for trainer Gopi Selvaratnam. Usually based in Bahrain over the winter months, Doyle is based with Godolphin in the UAE this season. Azram looks the horse very well handicapped for His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum. In the same race as Call to War, the 8-year-old looked to be tanking along when unlucky jockey Jim Crowley had nowhere to go. He remains on a mark of 79 and could well do better when we see him on the track again. So that's your lot. We hope you've enjoyed a look back at an action-packed weekend of racing as Dubai World Cup night looms ever closer. And on that note, Super Saturday is now less than a week away. You'll get a comprehensive roundup of that and everything else on next week's Past the Post. But before, make sure you tune into The Winning Line on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Dubai Racing for a full preview of Super Saturday. Goodbye for now.